This week's video, I'm going to show you how to remove objects in Photoshop from your images. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brendan Diver and each week I'll be giving you free photography tutorials on all things photography related. If you'd like to give this video a like, subscribe to my channel and click on the bell notification icon so you won't miss any videos in the future. So if you keep watching to the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to remove objects from your images with Adobe Photoshop. Now what I'm also going to do is I want to zoom into this image to get in closer to the objects that I'm going to remove. So I'm going to hold down my control key on my keyboard and at the same time press a couple of times the plus symbol on my keyboard. This will allow me to zoom in. If I want to zoom out, I'll hold down the control key and press the minus symbol. So it's control plus to zoom in, control minus to zoom out. So the first thing I always do is when I open up an image in Photoshop is I go over here to the right hand side where it says layers and I click on this tab. And this will bring up a window and you'll hear it says background. Now just as a precautionary measure and just as a backup plan, I always like to have a plan B. I am going to make a duplicate copy of this image. And the way that I do this is I click on the control key on my computer and I press the letter J. Now what you'll actually see here on the right hand side, it says layer 1. This is the image that we're going to work on. If anything happens or we make a mistake, I've always got the original image called background here below. So just make sure that layer 1 is selected. So what I want to do is I want to remove these flowers that's on the grass, and it's really simple to do. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to go over here to the left hand side. The third option down is the lasso tool. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to hold down my left button and draw just around this flower. And I'm going to complete the circle. Now you see we've got like dancing ants around the subjects that we've selected. And you'll see when I bring my mouse into this box, you see it's going to like a little arrow with a square. When I bring it to one side, it's an arrow with a lasso as well. I'm going to go back into the middle. I'm going to press my right mouse button. And now it's going to give me an option here at the bottom where it says fill. So I'm going to left click on fill. I'll just leave all my settings as they are on the screen. I don't change anything. So you can just make sure yours are the same. And then I'm going to click on OK. Now if I press the control key and D, this will deselect this part of the image that I've selected. And you'll see now we've actually removed this flower in the garden. So I'm going to try this again with a few more here. So I'm going to draw around this flower here, complete the circle, selected, right click, go down to fill, click on OK, Control and D. You see that's removed again. I always like to try and go in as close to the subject as I can because it just makes, I think, for a better removal of the object. So again, I'm just going to work on all these different flowers here. Right click, fill, OK. And you can see through a little bit of time, it's really simple to do it there. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm just going to speed this up really quickly and edit these very fast to let you see how it works. This part of the image, this part of the video, I'm going to just speed this up. So this next image, what we're going to do is we're going to remove this sign on this electricity pole here. And I'm going to move these telephone cables in the background as well. So it's really simple to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the right hand side here where it says layers, click on background, click on control and the letter J to create a new layer. I'm just going to hide this window by clicking on the layers tab again. Now what I want to do is I want to zoom in a little bit closer so I can get right and close to the detail. And then while I'm holding down the left button on my mouse, I'm just going to draw around these signs as close as I can. Now again, you can take your time and do a real nice, neat, tidy job of this. But just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you how simple and easy this is to do. Now you want to make sure that you do the full perimeter of the signs. Now you'll see here, we've got like ants, a dashed line around the outside, a little border. I'm going to put my mouse in the middle, right click, and then left click on where it says fill. And then I'm going to click then on OK. And after a few moments then, you're going to see that the writing and the signs have disappeared. So just to deselect this area, I'm going to click on the Control key and D. And I'm going to go to Layers, and I'm going to switch off this top layer. And you'll see the before and after. Really, really simple to do. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove these cables in the background. So what I'm going to do on this is I'm going to select a new different tool this time. So I'm going to bring my mouse over to the left hand side in this toolbar. And there's an option here called the Clone Stamp tool. So I'm going to click on that. You'll see now my mouse has actually changed to a different type of a cursor. Now you can change the size of this cursor. If you go up here to the top, you can change the size by moving the slider, and you can change the hardness or the softness of the outline. So I just prefer to have it kind of a very, very soft outline. I don't like it to be too harsh. And for this example, I'm going to leave it around about 290. Now what I'm going to do is, the way this works is, you have to select a part of the image that is going to copy that data from, that information, and replace it to the area that you're going to be painting this over with. So what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to, just where you see the mouse is here, I'm going to hold down the Control key. You see how my cursor has changed? I'm going to hold down the left button and then release the cursor. Now, if I go up here to the top, if I hold down my left button, you see there's a little cross has appeared. So wherever I'm painting, it's going to copy that information from where the cross is, and it's going to replace it. Now, what I always like to do is, I always like to kind of mix this up, pick it from different areas. So I'm going to go back up here, hold down my Alt key, left click, and just pick different parts. And again, it's just a matter of picking different areas of the image, just so it's not kind of too uniform. Just to kind of mix it up a little bit there. And again, it's just a matter of kind of picking information from different parts of the image. Now, if you've got any kind of repeating patterns, you just need to be very, very careful that you don't actually replicate them and you get it almost look like wallpaper. Now, what I'm going to do is, on this part down here, we're very, very close to the pole. So I'm going to make the size of my cursor a lot smaller. And what you'll actually see is we've removed them telegraph lines, phone cables on the left hand side. So if I bring my mouse over to the right hand side where it says layers, switch off the top layer, you can see the before, switch it back on, it's disappeared. And that only took a few minutes, but it's very, very simple to do. Now again, just to merge these two layers together, I'm going to click on the top layer, hold down my Control key, click on the bottom layer, and then hold down the Control and the letter E, and this will now merge the two layers together. So another very, very simple and easy way of removing objects. Now for the third example, I'm going to show you again the same idea again on this image here. We're going to remove these telegraph poles, these telegraph lines. So I'm going to click here on background on the right hand side, click Control and J, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit closer. I'm going to hide this layers option here, and I'm just going to show you on this one part here. I'm going to do this. Now what we can do is we can use the lasso tool here and try that to see how that works first. So I'm just going to draw around this top line here. And I usually kind of like to draw not too particular, because sometimes if it's too perfect, it kind of be noticeable. I'm going to right click, fill, OK. And after a few moments then, if I click Control and D to deselect, you'll see it's removed a fair bit off it there, but we still got part of the cables up here at the top. So that didn't work out exactly how I planned. It's not 100% perfect. So what I'm going to do is going to go over here to the clone stamp tool on the left hand side, like I showed you before. And I'm just going to make the size of my cursor, my brush, larger, like that. What I'm going to do now is going to hold down my Alt key on my keyboard, press the left button on my mouse, and it's going to select the information from this area here. So I'm just going to try this again, maybe a little bit lower down here. And I'm just going to pick different parts of the image to kind of paint out this area. And you see, it's really, really very, very simple. It's just like painting with a paintbrush. Now it's just a matter of kind of mixing this up, taking different parts of the image and not having it kind of too perfect. You see, that's most of that cables that's on the above disappeared. Again, you can spend time on this here and make a really, really good job of it there. But you see how easy this is to do there. So I hope you found this video interesting and you learned a few things from it there. It's just a matter of practicing, and them two tools, the clone stamp tool and the lasso tool, if you use a combination of the two of them together, you can get some really, really good results. It's all a matter about just taking your time and trying to make it as perfect as you can. So if you can give this little video a little like and a share and subscribe, I'd really, really appreciate it. And if there's any videos you'd like to see in the future, please let me know in the comment section below and I'll try and get them created for you again. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.